Number one, the judiciary must be free from executive interference. They must be free from legislative interference. And they must be free from interference from private persons. Private persons. So any attempt to compromise the judiciary by putting government interference, whether it is executive, legislative, or private persons, then the judiciary is not independent. Because the Code of Conduct for Judicial Officers said judges must not engage in any form of impropriety. That is, any improper act. So receiving houses, cars from litigant. Wike is a litigant. He has numerous cases before the courts. Receiving housing from a litigant, it will go a long way to impugn on the integrity and the impartiality of the judiciary. Do you understand? That's on one hand. On the other hand, listen, politically exposed persons, I've said it before, should not even be in the judiciary. Why do you think when the media and everybody is in court, they are not allowed to record my lords when they are sitting? The idea is that you can't record them because by recording them, if you post it and people now identify them, people can approach them when they enter a supermarket to compromise them. When they enter a function, people can approach them to compromise them. You now have a politically exposed person like Wike having his wife on the bench. Politicians come to her house. She will interface with them. Do you understand? Do I need to say more? Was it not in this country, in this very country, where the husband of a judge, you remember him, another former senator, he told the Senate president and all the senators that my wife has helped all of you. Bukachua, my wife has helped all of you. So when you begin to appoint known politicians, you appoint their wives, their daughters into the judiciary. There's no compromise greater than that. And this is the reason why citizens all over are criticizing judges and the judiciary. And where did some judges get this idea from that they cannot be criticized? Where did they get the idea from? Or where did the judiciary get the idea from that they are above criticism? After all, the Constitution is explicitly clear that sovereignty belongs to the people, from wherein government got all its powers. All its powers. So that is just my answer simpliciter to the question.
Okay, last one from here. Last one from her.
From what you said.
Basically, if Wike had followed the due process of law, you know he does not like to follow due process of law. If he had followed due process of law in the aspects concerning Ruga community and all the places that were demolished in Sabon Lugbe and everywhere, I would have messaged him and said, before demolition, do this, do this. So a man just come brashly, without following the process of law, start demolishing poor people's homes. You say I should engage him. That's an unreasonable person. The only language is like during Buhari, they kept reaching out to me during Buhari. I refused to engage them because they are unreasonable government. A government that will just come and start shooting protesters. Do you know how many Shiites Buhari killed? You want me to engage that kind of government? Wike is an unreasonable person. I know him very well. This is the only way. And we have achieved our aim. What we wanted to achieve, we got him to go there. The people are now being they are going to be relocated. Is the Adeyanju 1, Wike 0. And if he does it again, I will do it again to him. Nobody changes a winning strategy. My strategy was to intimidate him. And he said nobody can intimidate him. I already intimidated him already. And if he does it again, I will intimidate him again. That one is not, he says, nobody changes a winning strategy. It's a strategy that works for me. If he goes after poor people's home again, I will do to him same thing that I've done to him now, and we will get justice for the victims. Because there's due process of law. You are supposed to have gone to the tribunal, do the procedure. If the people loses, the people have right of appeal to the High Court. None of those due process of law was followed. He just took bulldozers and went to bulldoze their houses and claimed that they are shanties. That is invariably saying that poverty is a crime. What crime have the people committed by being poor? There will always be the poor among us. Even during the time of the prophets, the poor were always among us. And we must tolerate the poor, because if we don't tolerate the poor will have no option but to eat the rich. And the rich will not be able to sleep if the poor cannot sleep. So that's one. On the second issue of what should be the political solution to the River State impasse, believe me, there's nothing that Fubara will do that will make Wike to back down. Wike, all of us in this new room knows Wike. Is a totalitarian. He does not believe in middle ground. He will not shift. The governor has shifted severally, numerously. The way out is for the governor to confront him frontally. Like the way we have come. Wike does not like to be challenged. Once you challenge him, you know, he becomes very jittery, you know, and starts talking anyhow. So the governor should challenge him headlong. There is no issue. The law is settled that when people defect, they lose their seat. It's settled law. It's Supreme Court that said it. Then they went and got a lower court to make another ruling on the same subject matter. So Fubara should just man up and challenge the guy. He's not God. This God complex that Wike has, that his words are supreme, his decree. He believes that this is a dictatorship. The same treatment that Wike has given to people that have supported him, he will give it to Tinubu. Tinubu will not be an exception. And assuming without considering that I went to beg Wike, like he said in his interview, about over 8 years ago. So that means Wike is the oracle of PDP, is the one that makes people in PDP. So why couldn't he make himself PDP presidential candidate? Why couldn't Wike make himself PDP presidential candidate? Since he's the oracle of PDP, he's the one that determines who gets what, when, and how in PDP. Okay, why couldn't the oracle of PDP, why couldn't he make himself PDP presidential candidate in the last primaries? Peter Odili, people that have helped him, is it Tinubu that Wike will not betray? Even President Tinubu is not that dull. He's politically savvy. He knows. He's just using the long spoon to deal with him. And there's nothing you do with Wike that is safe. Wike is the reason why they raided the home of judges. You remember now when they raided the home of judges. Wike is one of the reasons, allegedly, why the former CJN was removed from office. He kept going around saying that he has judiciary in his pocket and he was mentioning names. So there is the only difference between him and Portable is that when you do something with Portable, at least Portable will not go against you and betray you. But no matter what you do for Yes and Wike, he will betray you. No matter what you do for him. So I'm not surprised that elders that should be confident, the people that, in his response to our criticism of him trying to buy the judiciary and pocket the judiciary, he said it is the president that asked him to be building houses for judges and giving judges cars. Was he not building houses for judges when he was governor in Rivers State? Was it Bola Ahmed Tinubu that told him to build houses and be buying cars for judges when he was in Rivers State? All this land grabbing that he's doing, the people that are doing deals with him, he will still expose all of them. All the land grabbing. He already said, he's allegedly saying that it is Tinubu that is telling him to grab people's land in the FCT. That it is Tinubu's wife that is telling him to grab people. He's telling people already, go to the FCT and the FCTA. He has turned the place to Obiakpo. All Rivers people, he made them to imagine in the FCTA now and the FCT. Directors now report to Wike's aides from Rivers State. What a shame and a parody of some sort. And you know, he's a maximum ruler. Bullies people, just a bloody bully and a coward. Bullies people in the FCT, insults people anyhow, talk to people anyhow. Same weekend was talking in this interview that Bala Mohammed, he said that Bala Mohammed should never have been the chairman of PDP Governors Forum. That in PDP that they do it based on a rotation, north south. Okay, after Mimiko was a PDP Governors Forum chairman, the next chairman was Fayoshe, his friend. It is always the most senior person, the most senior governor, the most senior ranking governor that becomes the Governor Forum chairman. Do you understand? So when his friend Fayoshe took over after Mimiko, he did not see anything wrong in it. But now he sees something wrong in it. Same Wike is insulting the revered Professor Chidi Odekalu, who has been critical of him trying to compromise our judiciary, saying that Wike calls some people, he said they are Arise lawyers. Look at Wike, that has never worked anywhere in his... Let Wike bring his CV. Let Wike bring his CV. Let me bring my CV. Where has Wike ever worked in his life? Which 9 to 5 has he ever done in his life? Whose salary has he ever paid? Do you know how many people's salary we pay? We've been paying in the last couple of years, even before we joined the legal profession, as traders. We are accountable people. We are tax-paying people. You know, so it does not make any sense whatsoever Imagine Wike threatening a director in FCDA to resign just because of selfish interest. If he wants to do anything in your department and you don't agree, he will bully you. He will force you to resign, or he will make your directorate redundant. And the people are scared of him. They cannot speak. And this is why I'm making myself available to them, all of them that Wike is bullying in FCT and FCDA. Come to me. I will help you. Come to me. I will deal with him for you. Report him to me. I'm his Oga. I will deal with him.